Okay, so what are we talking about tonight? Okay, so as you guys know, every single Sunday night, I try to give trans advice, trans tips, okay, trans guides, okay, because then I turn them into videos. Yippee! Wow! So what are the topics we're going to be talking about tonight? We're going to be talking about hair, skincare, nails, and makeup. I could have talked about them separately, but they're kind of shorter. And I feel like they're the easiest things to talk about because they're probably going to be the first things you do in regard to your transition. The things that will help you pass the most, and also the things that will help you feel most comfortable in your gender. And they're also ones that are very daunting. Like, it's very hard to learn about hair care, skin care, nails, makeup. It's kind of hard to learn about those things. So whether you're just starting your transition or whether you've been transitioning for a while, hopefully this video can help you in some way, shape, or form. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Wow. And if you have any questions about the transgenders, okay, join my Discord. Okay, it's got a bunch of really cool, really epic trans people that I'm sure would love to help you out. The first thing I want to talk about today is hair care. I think the hair on your head is one of the biggest factors to not only passing, but feeling more comfortable in your gender identity. We don't really think about it that much, but hair plays a huge role in how people identify your gender and how you identify with your gender. So I think the first thing you need to learn about hair care before you even start on like getting into like what products you need, how you need to be taking care of your hair, how you need to be getting it cut, is finding out what hair type you have. Okay, it's pretty easy Google search, just finding out what hair type you have. Obviously, this is going to change the different products that you use. Mostly, I can only speak from my experience, so I'm going to be speaking about the stuff that I use. But there might be other hair care resources, because I don't have curly hair. So there might be someone with thicker or curlier hair that might be better at giving this advice than me. It's also important to note too, okay, if you are a trans woman, okay, and you are transitioning, HRT can change your hair type and texture and color. So, like for me, my hair was a lot shaggier before transitioning, and now it's straight as an arrow, which is kind of funny because I'm not straight as an arrow. What are the tools that I use for my hair care? I think the first and most important hair tool that I think you need, okay, regardless of your length of hair, is a brush, okay? Obviously, there are numerous types of brushes, okay? I have 2 brushes, okay? But having a brush is important not only for like your hair health, because you need a brush to brush out tangles or style your hair. Brushes are mostly just about like maintaining your hair, and obviously, like I said, there's different brushes for different hair types. Blow dryer, okay, this is not for blowing things. That joke sounded better in my head, okay? This is a blow dryer. It pretty much takes air in, hot air out, okay? They're pretty cheap and they're pretty great because when you start to grow out your hair longer, air drying it ain't gonna cut it. You're gonna need one of these. Because if I were to wash my hair, it would be wet all day unless I blow dried it. This will make a world of difference in styling your hair. Next is curling irons, okay? These you can use to curl your hair. I don't really curl my hair all that much, but I have a curling iron. I don't like to use it because I'm always scared that I'm gonna burn the shit out of myself because I burnt myself twice. Pretty much this part gets hot, and then you press the hair in between there. Plenty of tutorials online on how to use it. And then obviously, there also are straighteners, hair straighteners. I do not own a hair straightener. You can also curl your hair with a hair straightener. Those are like the basic tools of the trade that I would recommend. Those are like your basics that you should have. Now that we've kind of gotten out of the way of like tools that you'll need for your hair care, this part, okay, is important. how to wash your hair, okay? I was about a year and a half into my transition before my sister told me how to properly wash my hair. Because when you're a guy and you have short hair, okay, all you really do is just put like the 5-in-1, okay, in your hair, boom, wash it out, okay? Maybe quickly blow dry it or let it air dry, and that's it. When you start to grow out your hair more, the way that you wash it and care for it changes. The difference in the hair care when your hair starts to get longer is shampoo and conditioner, okay? They serve very different purposes. Pretty much the way you can think of it, conditioner moisturizes your hair, shampoo strips the oils out of it. But shampoo, you should not be using on the ends of your hair. Shampoo is for your scalp and just like the hair that is touching your scalp. Because that's the part where all the oil comes out of, and that's the oiliest. And you don't want shampoo to sit in your hair for a long time. It'll end up drying your scalp out more than it should. So once you kind of put it in, once you like massage it in, obviously don't scratch it in. That's how you like scratch your scalp. But soft palms, get actually in the hair, and I also too, I go up and behind, in, okay? But you pretty much massage your skull and then wash it out kind of once you've rubbed it all in. That's how you properly shampoo your hair. Now conditioner you do not use on the roots of your hair. Conditioner you use on the ends of your hair. So conditioner, for me, it's usually like here down. And I usually like finger comb my hair to get all the shampoo or get all the conditioner through my hair. And then once you have your hair all conditioned, let it sit for a moment. Don't wash it out right away, okay? You want to let it sit there for like a minute, like 30 seconds to a minute. That's how long you kind of want conditioner to sit in your hair. It pretty much helps moisturize your hair and keeps the ends of your hair from getting brittle and breaking off or becoming split ends or dead ends, which even if you do conditioner will naturally happen with your hair. That's perfectly fine. But conditioner helps prevent that. I usually do this before I like wash my body, because conditioner can like clog your pores sometimes, so it's better to wash your skin after doing like shampoo and conditioner. But then once you've kind of washed that all out, great. But when you have longer hair, once you get out of like the shower and you're done showering, you're gonna have to use your trusty tool, okay? And then once you've washed your hair, I usually like pat it out with a towel so it's not like dripping wet. Once you're out of the shower, okay, you've shampooed and conditioned your hair. This is when your blow dryer would come into play. But me, I use a hair oil before I blow dry my hair while it's still wet. I kind of put like a drop of like the hair oil in my hands, and I get it on the roots. Pretty much, again, it just helps with splits ends and helps with retaining moisture and repelling water and stuff like that. But then I blow dry my hair. I don't comb it out first. I just go straight to blow drying. Usually I blow dry a bit like this, but sometimes, like usually, I blow dry a bit like this for a moment, and then I flip my hair kind of upside down and blow dry it from the inside and like the back ends. And I usually do that for about like, I'd say probably like 10 to 15 minutes to the point where it's almost dry, but not fully dry. Usually the ends are still a little wet, but not super wet. And that's when I usually brush out. That's usually when I brush out my hair. And then it's still a little wet, so then I'll blow dry it a bit more, and then brush it again. And And that's how I get my hair the way I do. Also, in terms of other products you might need, obviously hairspray if you want your hair to stick, or like hair gel. That depends on different hairstyles, or whatever hairstyle you want to rock. But for me, I just have like a dry shampoo, which pretty much if my hair is a little oily, but I'm not at a hair wash day, then I... Also, too, with washing your hair, too, this is another thing if you have longer hair, you do not want to or need to wash it every single day. Washing it every single day can end up damaging it more. I usually wash it every 2 to 3 days. Also, it depends on how much like physical activity you're doing. Some days I wash my hair and then I go skateboard for like 4 hours. And then obviously if I don't want my hair to look gross and oily, I have to wash it because I was sweating and it was gross. Or if you swim, also another reason why you might need to wash it. Also, another thing with hair, okay, is figuring out the style that works for you, okay? Obviously, you might be into different things. You might want colored hair, you might want dyed hair, you gotta find a style. I would recommend using Pinterest or just Google, and kind of like figuring out what face shape you have, and then figuring out what hairstyles work for your face shape. And then last but not least, this might sound a little counterintuitive, okay? If you're trying to grow out your hair, if you're early on in your transition, you're like, I want my hair to be long, I want my hair to be long, okay? You still need to get it cut, okay? You still need to get a haircut. Because if you just let it grow out without cutting it or styling it, it's gonna look bad. You're gonna have split ends, you're gonna have dead ends. It's not gonna be layered, so it's gonna look like either really flat or really thick. And also too, when your hair has like split ends or the hair follicles are dead, that's less healthy hair that can grow in. So you do need to get your hair cut and trimmed and shaped, not only so it looks better, but also so it grows healthier. Cutting it won't make it grow back faster, but it will make it grow back healthier. Now that we've talked about the hair on your head, it's important to talk about the hair on your body, okay? If you're a trans woman or non-binary or whatever, chances are you probably don't like having body hair. It sucks. It's not that great, and although when you do go on HRT, your body hair thins out and usually lightens, it still doesn't go away. So there are a couple different ways you can deal with body hair. The first way is shaving. Obviously, that's just using a shaving cream and a razor. I would recommend getting like the women's razors because they're built to like go over more like bumps. They're different from the razor that you would use on your face. Some people like shaving. For me, I do not like shaving my body. Like I shave my armpits and I shave my like downstairs, but the rest of my body, I use different methods of hair removal, because razors tend to make me get really bad razor bumps and ingrown hairs. But you might not have that problem, so you might be fine to shave away. There's also waxing. You can either get waxing strips and do it at home, or get hot wax and do it at home, or you can go to like a waxing salon and get waxing done there. The great thing about waxing is when you get it done, it rips the hair out from the root, so your hair will grow back in slower. Because you're pretty much, instead of shaving where you're cutting off what's at the surface and the root still stays behind, when you wax it, it fully rips out the hair follicle, so it takes longer for it to grow back in. I get an allergic reaction with wax, so I do not do waxing. Also, I feel like it is one of the more expensive options if you're going to a waxing salon to do it, because they usually charge a lot of money. The third method of hair removal, which is the method that I use the most, is Nair. And or like hair removal creams. Pretty much what these are is they're a chemical, almost like lotion, that you rub on your skin, and you let it sit for like usually like 6 to 8 minutes, and then you wash it off in the shower and like scrub it off in the shower with a washcloth. For me, I've found it's the best method for me because I have the least irritation to it, and it also sometimes penetrates a little deeper than like shaving does, but I don't think it removes the whole hair follicle like waxing does. Finn Gang mentioned, but I hate the smell. It does have a strong smell, so I usually light a candle in my bathroom after I like use Nair, because it does kind of got a smell. But for me, it's my favorite method of hair removal, and it's pretty easy to find Nair or like hair removal creams. They just sell them at the grocery store. The thing you do have to be careful of is you cannot leave them on for too long, because they can cause chemical burns. All right. Shadow Hulk asked, what about laser? That was what I was going to mention next. So, laser, you can either get a laser tool and do it yourself at home. They're a bit pricey though. And I've never used one of the at-home like laser tools, so I don't know how well they actually work. Or you can go to a professional laser hair removal clinic. And pretty much what laser is it's a I think it's a high UV laser that pretty much doesn't fully, it burns the hair, but it doesn't burn the hair follicle. So over time, it tends to lighten the hair. And just like waxing, it removes it down to the follicle, I think. So it is a pretty good method of hair removal. And it's partially permanent. If you keep getting it done, it'll grow back less and less. But if you don't get it done for a while, over time, your hair will resort back. Then there's electrolysis, which electrolysis is the most expensive thing on here. But electrolysis is the only process on here that fully removes the hair for good. Pretty much electrolysis, they stick like a little like I think it's a needle, right? It's like an electricized needle. They stick it into the hair follicle and it burns the like whole entire follicle, so no hair grows back. Usually a lot of people get electrolysis, a lot of trans women get electrolysis on their face to remove their facial hair. I have not gotten electrolysis. If you ever plan to have bottom surgery, you will have to have electrolysis downstairs. But it is the most expensive hair removal option, but it fully removes the hair. And usually it's not done over one treatment, it's done over multiple treatments. And then last but not least, I've kind of talked about body hair, talked about head hair. This is kind of a little side tangent about eyebrows. I think eyebrows and learning how to do and shape your eyebrows will help you the most if you are trying to pass. Eyebrows are the thing that I think can change you from not passing to passing, or can take you closer to passing. So obviously you can get your eyebrows waxed, you can shave them. I use this little eyebrow shaver. These are pretty easy to find online or at the grocery store. And pretty much they're a tool. You just put it like right on the eyebrow and shave and shape the eyebrow. For me, I usually have to like shape my eyebrow like once a week using this tool. They're pretty cheap and they're pretty effective, and definitely Would recommend. All right. Now that we've talked about hair, we've gotten hair out of the way. Wow. What's next? Skincare, okay? So I think skincare is just not only important for like having good skin, but taking care of your skin is good. And even though it might not crazy help with like passing, okay, it will make your skin better. And a lot of things, I put skincare even though it doesn't relate to necessarily like transitioning, or like making you more passable or getting you further along in your transition. It is good to do, just to take care of yourself. Once I started transitioning, it wasn't until I started getting into makeup that I was like, oh, I need to actually kind of take skincare seriously. Because I don't want to have skin cancer when I'm older, and I don't want to have really like wrinkly skin when I'm older. So I think the first thing to any good skincare routine is lotion. Obviously, there's different kinds of lotion. Body lotion, face lotions, body butters, okay? It's important to moisturize, okay? Because your skin, although it moisturizes itself, even though your skin moisturizes itself, it's probably not enough. Another important thing in taking care of your skin is sunscreen. You might be like, oh, I'm young, I don't need it, blah, 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 blah. I don't need sunscreen. I'm just going outside for a brief moment. The sun is dangerous. The sun hates you. The sun wants you to develop skin cancer and die, okay? Please, 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 please use sunscreen, okay? Okay? Obviously there's face sunscreens and like body sunscreens. This is the face. That's so awesome. I love when everything falls over. This is the face sunscreen I use. The body sunscreen I use, I keep in my bag. You don't want skin cancer and you don't want wrinkly skin. So wear sunscreen. Now, another part of having good skincare is exfoliating your skin. Some people use loofahs. Some people use like, I think they're called African dry sponges. Okay, plenty of different ways to exfoliate your skin. I just use a washcloth because I have very sensitive skin, and anything harsher like a loofah or a sponge usually causes my skin to be very irritated. So I just use a washcloth. I use this on my face and body like maybe once or twice a week. You don't need to do it every single time you shower. Although you could, that would just cause a lot of irritation to my skin. But it might not for yours. But exfoliating your skin, it just gets dead skin off. Just makes your skin smoother. Now onto nails. Now onto my favorite part, okay? So, nails. My favorite part, okay? I love nails, okay? I don't have my nails done right now, okay? So I'm going to be talking about nails, okay? There are different things to be doing with your nails, okay? First, and the cheapest option for nails is painting your nails. All you really need to paint your nails is a like color and a base and top coat. Base coat down, color, top coat. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. The less like brush strokes, the better. I usually try to do my nail in like 1 to 2 brush strokes. Also, you don't always need a lot of polish. Sometimes if you have too much polish, it will cause like air bubble. The next option, if you want to do your nails. Now, if you don't want to paint your nails and you want something a little longer, maybe something a little more stylish, that is where press-ons come in. Okay, these are a set of press-ons that I have. But press-ons usually come with like the like glue to stick on the nail, and also usually like a file, a pick to take them off, and an alcohol pad. Usually before you put press-ons on, you want to file like the top part of the nail to kind of make a jagged surface for the glue to grab onto. Press-ons are pretty great. They look pretty great. but I feel like they last the shortest amount of time. Okay, press-ons, I've never had press-on nails last more than 5 days. That's just the truth. Although press-ons look great, they don't last. And they're about the same as you would pay for like a set of press-ons is about the same as you would pay for a nail polish color, which will last you way more. Your third option, if you're getting nails done, which is my favorite, my preferred method, is gels or acrylics. Acrylics, they pretty much just like attach like a little extra thing onto your nail to make it a little longer. But then gels, pretty fun. It's a type of nail polish that you can do gel nails yourself, but you do have to have like a UV machine to harden the gel polish. I like to go to a nail salon to get my nails done. And pretty much you go and you pay maybe like $90 to $100 and they'll get you like a full set of gel nails. I usually do Gel X, which are pretty much like what these press-ons would be, but they're like a gel nail. And I like gel nails the best because they last the longest. When I get them done, stay on for like a month. So I think they're worth the money. I enjoy doing it. Now on to the final section of the presentation, okay? Makeup, okay? So there's a couple things about makeup. So first, tools of makeup, okay? The brushes, okay? There are like 20 million billion makeup brushes that you can find, okay? All different shapes and sizes. I would recommend, for starting off, just get yourself like a basic brush kit. Usually they have like 4 to 5 brushes of all the brushes you really need. Unless you're doing like super complex, complicated makeup, you do not need like 20 different brushes. Now, makeup sponges. These are great for dabbing on things. Usually you want to get them a little wet first. These are also pretty easy to find and buy. There's a lot more makeup tools, but those are the basics. Those are the basics. I think too, makeup is very fun and that is very experimental. There are many different styles. But ultimately, you want to find the style that works for you. So how do you kind of find the style that works for you? I think one, just trying a bunch of different makeup styles. There's plenty of makeup videos on YouTube. And I'm obviously going to do my makeup on stream to show you guys how I do my makeup. But there's plenty of different makeup tutorials and makeup styles. But I think the basics of kind of finding your style have to deal with like your face shape and your skin tone and eye color. I think two, you should be using makeup not to cover up your flaws, but to highlight your highlights, okay? To highlight your best features, not to like hide your features. Although you can hide certain things with makeup, makeup's at its best when you're highlighting your best features. Also too, I think it's important for me to tell you this, okay? If you're an early trans woman, okay? It is so much fun to experiment with so many different makeups, okay? But you do not need a full face all the time, okay? Sometimes less is more. Sometimes you don't need a bunch of foundation and eyeshadow and lip color. Sometimes just like blush and mascara is all you really need, okay? You don't see every single woman having a full face of makeup on. And sometimes when you do, you're kind of like, ooh, that doesn't look too good. Like, think of anyone in the Trump administration. You see how much makeup they wear and you're like, ooh, that don't look so good. So just know that less makeup sometimes can be more. All right, so I guess I'll show you guys how I do my makeup. I've wetted the sponge. Okay, this is, and also too, the way I'm about to do makeup is probably going to be different from every other person. I know there's probably going to be one comment that's like, that's not how you do makeup. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? I'm going to do it how I like to do it. And that should be the way you do your makeup. Do it the way you like to do it. Pappy dropping all the important info. I am. Okay, I'm gonna put my hair up real quick. Okay? Definitely get like a hair clip or like hair clip or hair tie of some kind to put your hair up when you're doing makeup, because obviously you don't want to get makeup in your hair. First thing I like to do is go in with concealer. Concealer can be used to like hide a 5 o'clock shadow, also acne. If you're trying to hide a 5 o'clock shadow, you probably need a orange or like concealer to cover up like the darker. It depends on what color your facial hair is, but you need something a little oranger. I do not grow facial hair. Well, I mean, I grow facial hair, but not like... I transitioned early, so I don't really grow facial hair besides like peach fuzz. That's like... humble brag, I guess. I guess, I'm sorry, like, but, yeah. But the first thing I like to do if I'm doing like full makeup is concealer. I usually just do concealer under the eyes, just because I tend to have like more like purple under the eyes. So I have more of like a, not orangey, but more of like a beige. You'll see. I don't do too much of it under my eyes, because you don't need all that much. Like that's a bit much. Like you don't, for like concealer under the eyes, I feel like I don't need that much. But I just do my fingers, and I spread out under my eyes. It's gonna look weird because I don't have foundation on yet. Do you mind I came out when I was 18, but I started transitioning at 19. But I was kind of like a late bloomer in terms of like I was still growing. Kind of like a late bloomer in puberty, I guess. So I was still growing when I started hormones. So she's 36 now. She's lying. I'm 79. Okay. Also, welcome in, Lynn Harris. I need to change the stream title real quick to doing my makeup. All right, exclamation point, exclamation point. Bam, bam, bam. Is that an ERA? That's early, but congrats. Yeah. I kind of also figured out, too, that I was trans in high school, but I didn't come out in high school because I wasn't worried about my parents. I was more so worried about getting bullied, which is fair because I got bullied a lot in elementary school and middle school for being too feminine, which is kind of funny now that I think about it. Like, getting bullied for being too feminine. If they could only see me now. Yeah. Yeah, they kept calling me gay, so I was like, you know what? They kept calling me gay and a sissy and, oh, you're like a girl. Okay, cool. I'll just become one then. I got huge news. What's the huge news? Oh, I've also forgot to mention, This is my foundation, just the Rim Beauty Palette. To find a foundation, literally just go to like a Ulta or a Sephora and ask one of the people to help you find your shade. They will help you. I passed in college. Woohoo! Yippee! Yippee! I will never learn makeup. Never! Ever! Pappy, it's supposed to be a well-kept secret that being trans makes you look younger and de-ages you. Yeah, it really does. Can you guys believe I'm 79? But I apply my foundation with a sponge, and I know there's probably gonna be someone that's like, use a foundation brush. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't want to. This is how I like doing my makeup. I've tried using foundation brushes. I don't think it look as good. So I just put it all around. Oh, I got some on my hand, but I just dot it all around. But this is just like blending in the yeah, but like I said, do the makeup the way you like to do makeup. So it's kind of hard looking in like a phone screen rather than a mirror. Sorry, but yeah, I'm just blending it out right now. I usually try to get it like in the eyes so it like blends the concealer. But yeah, I feel like this is always the weirdest part. Because my face looks like so barren right now. Because the foundation kind of removes the color from it. So I feel like especially under the eyes, it feels weird to just see like white rather than like darker circles. Yeah, I think that's... I think that's blended well enough. Alright. Okay, now I can zoom out a bit. Alright. Why did you even pick your phone? Your phone is working overtime to color correct? That's kind of mean that you would say it's color correcting. I just think like the base like this, it looks like flat. Like it doesn't, looks kind of barren because it's a base. Exactly. It's a base for me to work on. It's the canvas for me to expand on, okay? All right. Now, usually, the next part I like to do, there's my eyeshadow. These are my eyeshadow palettes. Very cool. I have more, but these are pretty much the only two that I use. Eyeshadow palettes are like the thing that I feel like makeup product they try to sell you the most of. Okay, you just need like one or two good ones. Also, thank you, Avro Lancaster, for the follow. Very cool, very awesome, very swag. You have no many ideas how many YouTubers I've seen do makeup on YouTube, and I'm like a dude who doesn't wear makeup. And that might be a sign, this kid. Might be a sign, yeah. I'm always in trans women's chats. Always be watching makeup tutorials. Interesting. That's a little... Chad, don't you think that's a little interesting? I know, right? Interesting. Alright. So the first thing I like to do, I like to grab my little, like, wider, like, brush. I work in tech, too. Do you have socks that are pink, white, like pink and white, and are striped, per se? But I think tonight I'm gonna do like a beige. So I got the like makeup, like the eyeshadow on my brush. And then I usually just close one eye. Oh, it's like weird because it's mirrored in the camera instead of... But I kind of go in like a circular motion, just like how you would if you're painting or coloring and trying to fill something in. That's suspicious. Yeah. Yeah. Nizkit in the maid outfit. Yeah. Alright. There we go. Also, thank you, Duden King, for the follow. That was very awesome. But as you can see, I got a little bit of color now. A little bit of color. Now, for my makeup, I like to go in with, like, the smaller, like, pointed brush. For kind of, like, the waterline and the eyeliner. Rather than using, like, a pen, or pencil to do it. I don't know, I just find using the brush a little easier. But I'm gonna do a red. I'm gonna do a red, like, in the waterline. I just like how it contrasts with my green eyes. I always feel like it makes my eyes pop a little more. Yeah. It's like, I need a little bit more on this eye, I feel like. I always too smudge it a little bit with my finger. I feel like that makes it look better. It's funny watching the faces people make when they're applying makeup. Yeah, you do have to make some funny faces. To like you gotta kind of like open your mouth to like get your eyes open. But yeah. Now then I like to go in with like a not as bushy but a little shorter of like a blending brush. And we're just gonna do like some sparkles in like the corner. Oh wow, it's really hard doing this on my phone. Smudge it with my finger. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Wow. Okay, there we go. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna take the little straight one out again. No, not the straights! Alright, I'm gonna do a black, because this is how I like to do my eyeliner, rather than doing it like with the pen or marker. I feel like it's so hard for me to draw a straight line. I just go back and forth. Boom, eyeliner in the corner, and then I also like to do it from the top. Get a little bit of the edge. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Very cool. Very awesome indeed. Alright. Oh, there we go. I need a little bit more. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. Wow! Wow. Now that's the eyes done. For now. Then, I like to take the blush, my blush, and I usually just do dot on the nose, dot on the cheekbone, dot on the cheekbone, maybe a little more. I like to use a little bit of a pinker blush instead of a like redder blush. I don't know, it just works better with my skin tone. Then I take the bigger brush. I usually go down on my nose, but then I go like back and forth on my cheekbones. There we go. Also, I like to take like a lighter color from my eyeshadow palette rather than use highlighter, because pretty much the exact same thing. And I just right on the nose, and then I blur it down. Wow! Wow! Holy shit! Pappy with the makeup hacks. All right. Now. Oh shoot! My phone died. Have a good straight Pappy. I will be rewatching the VOD. There's one I'm falling asleep. Here's one here. One too many drinks. I think it's clear you've had one too many. I don't even know what you just said. Yeah. I think you're drunk, Shadowhawk. I think it's time to go to bed. Then got the mascara here. I only do the top lashes. I don't usually do mascara a lot of times. Usually because it makes my eyes really dry, but and like some people roll them, but I just do like basic like 2 swipe and that's all. Wow! Now for the lips. A lot of people use lip liner, but I like to take a matte lip and then go over with a gloss. So right here we have my favorite matte lip color, but I try to go light on the matte. And I always put chapstick on a little bit beforehand to make it easier to like spread out. Lip stain? No, this isn't lip stain. This is a matte lipstick. Right, I usually put my finger down like that to... But now my lips at least have color again, because I went over with the foundation. Okay, so... Then I usually use a lip gloss. And then with the lip gloss, I go a little crazy with the lip gloss a little bit. But there we go. Then the lip gloss makes it shiny, okay? The matte makes it look plump. The lip gloss makes it all shiny and nice. And then... Wow. How do I look? Pretty good actually. I need to zoom out. Okay, nope. Maybe a little more. A little more. Good night, Shadowhawk. Hopefully you won't be drunk in the morning. What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Yeah, guys. Yeah, I know sea shanties. Oh, wow. And then that's the look, you guys. Yeah. I did pretty good. I'm like, dang, I'm pretty hot.